Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to The Practical Life. This is Ashley Nicole, and welcome back to another Saturday Night Live. Oh, that's not Saturday Night Live. I didn't even realize that would it would sound like that when I would say that. But anywho, welcome back to another live, y'all. I hope your Saturday has gone well. I hope you all had some fun today, maybe engaged in some self-care today. Tonight, I am back giving my commentary and opinion regarding Liv's life. And I'm going to get into some things, in this video. This video is really a reaction. I believe it's to her latest video. The one, I think it was titled Good Morning Dallas or something like that, or Good Morning, We're in Dallas. I don't know, but I don't even know if that was her last live. Um, she may have done another live or video after that. I don't know, but that's the one that I'm kind of reacting to. And she said something at the beginning of the video, but I forgot that prompted me to make this live, to do this live, but I can't remember what she said, but it'll probably come to me as I go through some of the things that I kind of noted. And this is kind of going to be off the dome, y'all. Uh, um, but okay, let me just start like this. I'm a therapist, but of course, I'm not your therapist. I'm not Liv's therapist either. Okay. But if you need a therapist, girl, go ahead and go down to my description box. I got a link for you. You can get a little bit of coin off with online therapy. You can get a virtual therapist. Usually, virtual therapy is good if you're just starting therapy or you just kind of want to get your feet wet to see what it's like, get a feel for it. Most therapists now are going online or have online services. So it's super easy. So if you need a therapist, this information in the description box. But this live is for entertainment only. Now, this is Liv's. Y'all know I got my couch up here because Liv needs to come sit on the couch. Now, this is Liv's third time. This is her third session. This is her third time in my office. This is her third time sitting on the couch. Now, again, I'm not Liv's therapist. So, Olivia, if you need one, again, the information is in the description box. But this live is for entertainment purposes only. Everything is alleged unless it's not. And this is strictly my opinion, y'all. This is strictly my commentary. This is definitely not a way that I would approach, clients that come to my office and things like that. This is strictly for entertainment. And again, my opinion, but it's based on my knowledge in the mental health field and my expertise and things of that nature in the field. So, on that video, I saw Liv with the kids, right? And I guess this was her first time kind of interacting with them, seeing them since she moved to Dallas. I assume she moved to Dallas. That's what was in her the title of the video, right? And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I have to say it was really good seeing her with her kids. You could see that her affect was very different. In the previous videos that I've seen of Liv, she looks and again, this is the internet, so we can only assume, speculate, by what we're seeing. We don't see the person's whole life. You know what I'm saying? So, people could be putting on, people could not be putting on. You just don't know unless you truly know the person in real life. So we are strictly reacting off of or giving commentary on what she shows. So in previous videos, what I saw was that her affect was a little bit sad, kind of down. Um, it appeared to me that she seemed as if she was a little bit lost because of the fact that maybe she didn't have her children, or lost in the sense of just being unsure about what would happen next as far as the situation or how to approach the situation, even if she wasn't giving any details. Based on her affect and her appearance, you can pretty much see that she was going downhill because her kids were not around her. So that's what I saw from past videos. But this video, you could see that she was lit up a little bit, right? She had a smile on her face. Of course, her kids were there. She was interacting with them. And it appeared to me that she wanted people to see that. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why I assume that's why she had the camera on. She wasn't really interacting with the people that were commenting or the chat or anything like that. She was strictly just had the camera on to show, really, because we didn't I don't even think you could really see the kids for most of the video. You only saw one of the kids. I don't even know the kids' names. I'm not even going to begin to um try to remember anything like that. But one of the kids was kind of in the frame a little bit, but she wasn't in the frame the whole time. And she was, talking to her, and it was a mommy daughter moment, and you could tell that Liv was excited. She was ecstatic that her kids were there. So that was really good to see, especially because we know that she hasn't had her kids for a long time, and a long time for a mom is 20 minutes, child. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you know that they're not coming back right away. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, sometimes too, with the videos, like the reactions and the commentary and things like that, it's easy to, and it's probably an unpopular opinion too about her. It's easy to, I don't even want to say react in a negative way, but to kind of harp on the negative things. But I understand that because that's human nature. That's what people do, y'all. People want to see the negative. People want to see the drama, baby. They here for the drama, okay? They are here for it. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's not what you say, is how you say it. And I think the reason why Liv is on my couch for the third time and not the other mommies, because baby, here's some other mommies that need to be on the couch. You hear me? Baby, they should be standing at the door waiting. Okay? Because they need some guidance, right? But I think that the Olivia is on my couch for the third time because I realized that she is or was the most vulnerable because she didn't have her kids, right? It's one thing when you got your kids and you going through it, you challenges, you making mistakes and things like that. But it's another thing to go through mistakes and as a mom, because every mom makes mistakes, y'all. We all know that. Any mom knows that. And some mistakes are more grave than others, right? But to know that you've made probably some of the same mistakes that another mom made, and now not to have your kids, you are in a vulnerable state. So I think that is why this is Olivia's third time on my couch, and I haven't even touched or even thought about commentating or reacting on the other moms, because not to say that that I wouldn't have a commentary from a mental health perspective regarding them, but I just feel like she was the most vulnerable because her children were not in her care. People react in some very unique ways when their children are taken from them, or no matter what the reason is, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I just wanted to say that too. Now, so let's talk about what's on my thumbnail: the past, the present, and the future. Now, in the past, we already got that checked out because the past is the past, right, Olivia? The past is the past. I'm sure that you've made mistakes as a mom. You've made mistakes as a wife, right? You've made mistakes as a sister, as a daughter, like just life in general. You've made mistakes. So we can pretty much check that off. The thing is now is that you have to, because we're working on your mind frame, right? We have to leave the past in the past. So then the question to Olivia becomes, What needs to happen for you to be able to leave the past in the past? Now, some of her videos, she kind of hints off at saying, I'm doing better. I'm nobody can stop me. This whole positive vibe, or putting forward that no one can hurt her, their words, no one can do anything or say anything to get her off this track, this positive track that she's on. God is on her side and things like that, right? But it sometimes, in my opinion, it comes off as her faking it until she makes it, which is fine, because sometimes you got to do that. Girl, I probably would encourage her to do that when, especially when she didn't have her kids around her, because I don't see how she made it every day. You see what I'm saying? Your kids weren't even in the same city, in the same state as you were in. So she probably had to do something, and it doesn't seem like, a lot of people, when they get to those low points, it's like it's kind of almost like hitting rock bottom, right? When they get to those low points, they have to have something to keep them going. And, when you think of rock bottom, you think of, people with addiction and things like that, right? And so that's why they had those 12 steps. It has a biblical component to it, right? It has a spiritual component to it. And it didn't seem like, or at least she doesn't really, and again, y'all gotta forgive me because I haven't watched all of this lady's videos, you know what I'm saying? Only like recent videos, right? But it doesn't seem like she has a spiritual component to her. When she talks about it now, it seems like she's faking it until she makes it. Like she gotta believe in something. It's almost like those people, they talk about church all the time. They talk about the Bible all the time. They talk about praying all the time. All you got to do is pray it away. All you got to do is pray and everything going to be fine. It's like if they didn't have that to get them through, then they would fall apart. So it's almost like, okay, she's kind of adopting that for the moment, um to get her through. And that's fine. You can fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying? Again, especially because you don't have your kids, and that's a hard thing to grapple with, despite whatever the reason might be, you know. So yeah, so my question to her would become, what needs to happen for you to keep the past in the past? And when I say the past in the past, I mean everything. Every little thing that you've done, every mistake you've made, every ex that might try to come back and get in the DMs, honey, everything. What needs to happen for you to be able to leave the past in the past? Now, further questions would come once she answers that. um so then we go on to the present. Now, her present state is what? She has already moved to Dallas or Texas, right? She's already moved to Texas. She made it there, right? She made it there. She has a place. She's she has been able to engage with her kids for the first time in a long time, right? But I would imagine that the present also comes with a little bit of anxiety, right? Because and I don't know, did you, because if the dad is in, if their dad is in Texas, did she live there before? I don't know. I feel like she said something about, or somebody, probably one of those reactors child, said something about her living there before. But if she did, or even if she didn't, she's in a brand new state, right? She's in a new state. So there probably is some anxiety along with that. Moving to a new place, trying to get everything situated, trying to figure out, the visitation and things like that with her kids. There's probably a little bit of financial stress because if she was in Florida and she moved to Texas, that's a long way. You know what I'm saying? That's a long way. So she probably has a little bit of anxiety, and not to mention that, thinking about the kids that are there, where she has three kids that were there, but then she has a little baby. or at least I hear a baby in the background, right? So she has a little baby with her. So there's some anxiety about that too, because it's not only you, it's one thing for you as a grown person to move wherever you move, but you're taking a little baby with you. You know what I'm saying? So you thinking about all kinds of stuff, the safety, where you're going to live. If you've never lived there before, you thinking about, okay, is this a good area to live in? You know what I'm saying? Like just little stuff. So I would imagine that presently she may have a little bit of anxiety, and it may not only be anxiety. Like I think sometimes people get into certain feelings and feel like you can only have one feeling at one time, right? So if she's anxious, she's only anxious. No, she could be anxious and excited. You know what I'm saying? She could be anxious and happy, right, that she's seeing her kids and things like that. So it could be a whole bunch of emotions going on, right? But that's one thing that I would think, that she has a little bit of anxiety in different areas because she has moved to a different state. Um, and also because now she has to figure out this whole what things are gonna look like with her kid's dad. Because even though, because baby, it appeared that it looked like they ain't never gonna get along. It looked like, baby, it ain't no chance that they ever gonna get along. And that might be the case. They might have to pick a mutual place. They might have to pick a mutual place like the gas station, the racetrack or Walmart, something like that. So where they gotta meet to drop them kids off. Or it could be like some families I used to work with, the dad will pick them up, the mama take them to school on Friday. On that Friday, the dad's supposed to get them. And then when school let out, the dad pick them up. And then, they meet at a mutual place on Sunday or whatever day it might be. Or they might drop them off at a family member's house. And so then that was my other question. That would be my question to her, what family do you have in Texas? Right? Because you move in, if you don't have any family there, you're by yourself. And that would be a concern. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to make sure you got somebody to call for something. And as a woman, we always want to uh this whole notion of being strong and we can do anything. I mean, yeah, we can do anything, but I'm gonna tell you, when I was stranded yesterday, y'all probably like, Ashley, why you still talking about that? Girl, you fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm definitely fine. I'm always gonna be fine. But when I was stranded, like I know who I could call or what I can do or whatever. But if I have a husband, then I know that I don't always have to be strong. You know what I'm saying? Or if I didn't have a husband, if I had a brother, you know what I'm saying? I know I could call my brother to come, even if they just coming to sit there, even if they just coming to sit there and wait with me for the tow truck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got somebody that got your back, you know? I wonder if you have anybody like that in Texas. I really wonder that, because you would probably, the thought process would be a little bit different, and she might move a little bit different if she had a little bit of support. But I don't know if she has anybody like that. Now in some cases where uh people have gotten divorced and they still, they got kids and stuff like that, it gets to a point where the ex-husband or even the ex-wife or whatever, it could go vice versa, becomes the support system, right? Because we have, our emotional intelligence is so high, to where we know, okay, they don't really have nobody, and this is my ex, but this is also my kid's father, right? This is also my kid's mom. So I'm never gonna leave them high and dry. You see what I'm saying? I'm never gonna leave them out in the cold. You know what I'm saying? Whatever help that they need, if I can provide it, I'm gonna provide it, because that's my kids. That's like family. You know what I'm saying? Like you sat up and had 3 kids with somebody, that's your family. So but I know that they haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm just saying in general, sometimes people do get to that point. But that would be the question that I would have for Olivia. What support system do you have in Texas? And if you don't have one, then we need to start formulating a plan for you to get a support system, right? Because I mean, anything could happen. Anything could happen. Uh, you know, you just might need somebody to talk to. I mean, I think she has her sister. Her sister lives in Florida, but it's nothing like having somebody right there with you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, her mother is there. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, Ginger. Welcome to the live. Her mother is in Texas with her. Okay. So that's good to know. That's good to know that her mom is there. Exposed to, exposed to Olivia. And see, that's my thing too. Like, I don't, because let me just say this. Um, because I've seen a lot of reactors. Oh my goodness. I've seen a lot of reactors, right? And if I haven't, okay, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. If I haven't seen it, I feel like if I haven't seen it, then I'm not going to give commentary on it. Like I think that again, she she was vulnerable because she didn't have her kids, right? And so that's why I'm kind of, and again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And but I think I'm probably gonna touch on that a little bit later throughout the live too, what you said, Ginger. Um so yeah, so I would want to know, right, I would want to know, because then too I try to think long term, right? you know, it's difficult because on one hand, and this is not only Olivia, these are all the YouTube mommies. Because baby, they be showing some stuff, and I be like, why they show that? Baby, I would never. I be like, and then I think, well, man, I think I'm different because it's some stuff that I see, and I'm like, that's kind of odd. Like, why would they do that? Um, Right. I'm like, okay, well, why would they do that? But then again, and so then I say, okay, well, if they put it out there, then the people can react to it, right? Which is, I mean, because that's the internet. I mean, you ain't even got to be on YouTube. You could be on Instagram or whatever, and you could do something that people gonna react to it. You know what I'm saying? But then on the other hand, it's like if you are a person that has morals, values, integrity about yourself, it's having that is not even going to allow you, right? You're going to feel a type of way if you react to somebody in a certain way, right? If you even think, because you put yourself in their shoes, right? You try to empathize with people. And it's probably because I, the profession that I'm in, right? I'm doing that all the time, trying to put myself in people's shoes, empathizing with them and saying, okay, well, dog, how would they feel? How would I feel if somebody said this about me? Or how would I take it? You know what I'm saying? So then that allows me to think before I speak. You see what I'm saying? But then too, on the flip side, in general, people have to be open and receptive to constructive criticism as well, especially if you're gonna be on the internet, child. Now you ain't got to. You can turn all the comments off. Then you know what I'm saying. Like, but they gonna find a way to get to you because they behind the computer. They behind the computer. You know what I'm saying? So, so, but you got to be open and receptive to constructive criticism. So that's why I say that it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's how you say it. That's all. And guess what? They don't have to take the constructive criticism because girl, I'm just behind the dang on computer. They don't know me from a can of paint. They ain't gotta take it. I'm just giving my own opinion and commentary. But I tell you one thing, some of the stuff that I see, baby, I would never, especially, and this is off on a tangent because I like to talk ginger. So this is off on a tangent. But if I was ever to see someone saying any little thing about my kids, it could be something in a positive light that tells me that you paying especially if the video is kind of about about me, like if I'm vlogging or something like that, and then my kids are in a one of the frames, or one of the parts of the vlog or something, and then you come back, you say something about the kids. It could be positive, but that tells me that you paying attention to my kids, and I don't know who behind the computer. You see what I'm saying? So guess what? That's gonna be the last time that my kids gonna be in a part of the vlog. Cause I don't need nobody commenting at all about my kids. Because when you think about it in the long run, your kids, if we on the internet now, and it's probably 10,000, probably more than that, thousands and thousands of sites, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all these social media sites right now. What y'all think is gonna be when we get to 2050 or whatever? Like, can you imagine? Baby, these kids gonna run the internet, and they gonna see what people had said about them, what people said about their mom, what people said about their daddy, what people said about their grandma, what people said about their whole family, what people said about the school that they went to, what people said about the house they lived in, anything. So I refuse to put my kids in that position, because then at that point they gotta they have to defend themselves and me, and they shouldn't have to do that as no kid, right? They shouldn't have to do that as a child. Even when I know y'all heard about what is it, Kim K and Ray J, when they was going at it or whatever about the dang on tape, and Kim was saying, "Oh, I gotta explain this to my nephew," and you should have thought about that 20 years ago. Now you said, and Ray J said it wasn't even true, that the Roblox CEO was like, they don't even have them type of ads on Roblox, but who knows where he saw that ad. It was like an ad or something for the tape. But who knows? He could have seen that on he could have seen that if he went on any other site, an ad for it. Who knows what site that little boy been on? But you should have thought about that 20 years ago, right? Dog, maybe one day my nephew might see it. Dog, maybe one day my son might see it. You didn't think about that. You know what I'm saying? And you doing it all for what? For a check right then and there. Girl, it ain't no way. It ain't no way. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I get heated about my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't ask for that. They don't ask for that. But anywho, back to this. So now, okay, so in the present, and I'm gonna bring something up too. Okay, so now we already talked about the present and her having anxiety and things like that. So I would probably work with Liv about, if she does, right? If you have a little bit of anxiety, you got some financial woes or whatever because of your move. Okay, let's figure out a plan to get you back on track. What do you need to do to get back on track? Do you have everything you need, as far as, because see, a lot of people, when they go to therapy, let me tell y'all something. A lot of people, when they go to therapy, they want to work on those the big things right off the bat, right? Oh, me and my husband getting a divorce, and he put me out, right? Or vice versa. Or right, okay, so I want to work on getting a better relationship with him. Just the communication needs to be better. Okay, before we need to work on communication, we need to work on the basic needs, right? We got to work on the basic needs. And when I say basic, I mean basic. Anybody ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. We got to work on the basics, right? And the basics are what? You need food. You need a place to live. You need water. So before you're working on the communication with your soon to be ex-husband, where you gonna stay at? Right? Where are you gonna stay at? Hmm? So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is just an idea, right? It's an ideal, in psychology, and it was proposed by a psychologist named Abraham Maslow. And he basically has a pyramid of things that people, like these innate needs that people need before they get to kind of their actual self, right? Before they're able to kind of move forward, you need these basic things in life, right? And the basic needs are, again, do you have food? Do you have a place to stay? Do you have water? Do you have clothing? The basics, the basics in life. Because before you, taking that example, before you want to start communicating with your husband, your ex-husband, or figure that out, if they put you out, where you gonna go? Where are you gonna go? Who you gonna Are you gonna stay with a friend? Are you gonna stay with a parent? Do you have to move to a whole different state? Sometimes I told y'all I like to watch 90 Day Fiance. When they get mad at the spouse before the 90 days, they got to go back to their country. Y'all, that 90 Day Fiance, you gotta be a special person. I ain't lying, you gotta be a special person to do that process. Did y'all see that one? Off on the tangent again. Did y'all see that one where the girl, oh, this was a whole mess, y'all. The girl, her dad was a cardiologist. I don't even remember her name, but her daddy was a cardiologist and her mama was an ER nurse. And girl, she was already like a free spirit. She had went to live in Argentina for 10 years and she met a man over there. They got married. He came to America. It didn't work out. They got a divorce. Then she said they got a divorce because she wanted to travel the world. So she started traveling the world. So she went to Ethiopia. And I don't know how long this girl stayed in Ethiopia. Oh, she must have, I think she stayed there 3 months. About 3 months, and she met this man over there and got pregnant. Girl, this girl, okay, so she went back home to live with her parents, right? And she ended up telling the mom that she was going back to Ethiopia to live permanently. Yeah, this was 90 Day the other way. So she was going, as an American, she was going to go to Ethiopia and live and had a baby over there. Girl, her mama like to fell out. Her mama said, girl, you can't go over there and have no baby. They don't even have the proper, tools and stuff like that. She said, I don't care, mom. I'm going over there and I am going to live with him. We're going to be together. We're going to get married. That lady went over to Ethiopia, y'all. And they probably, it's TV or whatever. So they was probably, it was probably over, exaggerating, but they didn't even have no running water where they was gonna live. This man didn't really have a job. Now, one thing that the mom did see was that when they went to the hospital to visit the hospital where she was gonna have the baby, the hospital was very clean and nice. They had modern medicine, and things like that. And it seemed like some of the things they had was better than what the mom was used to as a nurse. She was like, "Oh, you guys have a lot of stuff." So she was comfortable with that. But where the girl was living, they did not even have running water. And baby, y'all should have seen the bathroom. I said, girl, that would have took the cake for me. When I saw that bathroom like that, I said I would have been on the first plane smoking. Mm-mm. I can't stay over here with, and she told the man, she said, I can't live here without no bathroom. Because it was like not a bathroom. It was like a makeshift bathroom. And he was like, oh, just give me a couple of weeks. Girl, uh-uh. Anyway, back to this. So yeah, so Maslow's hierarchy of needs, y'all. So you got to have these basic needs before you move on to something. You have got, you've got to have, and it's basically it's five of them, right? On this, if you think of a pyramid, it's five of them. So at the bottom of the pyramid, we have your like physiological needs, right? And that's what I said, like the food, the clothes, safety, do you have job security? Do you feel loved? Belonging, like friendship, that type of thing. So that's kind of what it entails. So my question, would be to Olivia, do you feel like you have the basic needs? You've moved to a new place. This is somewhat of a new beginning because remember, we live in the past, right? It's kind of like almost you get a second chance. You have a new life. You able to kind of start over with your kids, even though they're not going to forget. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not going to forget, right? But you're able to show them something different. You see what I'm saying? You're able to show them something different. So we leave in the past in the past. Let's start anew. This is a new beginning for Olivia, right? So, do you have what you need? And whatever you feel like you don't have, whatever you feel like you don't have, then let's make a plan to work on getting it, right? So it looks like she got a place to live. It looks like she able to, go to Walmart, get a little food or whatever. Looks like she's, working on getting maybe furnishing the place and things like that. Um, right? But my thing to Olivia is this. When you have a new beginning, you got to put some things into perspective. Now we are leaving the past in the past. We are going to leave the past in the past, but we also have to learn from the past, right? And it sounds like, and I don't know, this could be her faking it until she make it too. She mentioned something about going to school in Texas and stuff like that, right? And that's all fine and good, Olivia. But what I'm gonna need for you to do, and this is probably not only for Olivia, this is probably for all the YouTube mommies that got the mess, that's got all this mess going on, right? I want to know, this is my question. Who is in your top five? Who is in your top five? And when I say who in your top five, who are the top five people that are in your life, that are around you, right? Because the top five people, we all know this, the top five people that are in your life, that you communicate with the most, that you hang around with the most, that's as far as you finna go. You can have all these plans, baby. You could plan on going to college. You could plan on getting a six-figure job if you want to work in corporate. You could plan on opening your own business. But if them top five ain't got their stuff together, you're gonna be where they are. You're not gonna move past that. Why? Because your top five, what do the top five people, if they about something, they're gonna motivate you. They're going to inspire you. They're going to give you open your mind to new things that you never even thought of doing, right? And sometimes you could have somebody in your top five that's doing so well, you might feel yourself being a little envious of them, right? Because you're like, dang, I ain't there yet. But it's gonna light a fire under that butt. If you that type of person, if you the type of person that wants something out of life. So then that would be my other question. That would be more towards kind of coaching Olivia, right? Do you want something out of life? And if the answer is yes, then what is it? What is it? Now I've heard a lot of moms, especially stay-at-home moms, sometimes they say, I just want to be a good mom. Okay, what does that look like? What does being a good mom really look like? Don't tell me what Instagram said. Don't tell me what the meme said. Don't tell me what the reactors on YouTube said. For yourself, what does a good mom look like? let's define good mom, right? And then we'll go from there, because right now, I mean, based on what we've seen already, she could feel like, and it looks like she does, that she was a damn good mom. But based on what she showed, because that's the only thing people can react on, right? Or give commentary on or whatever, it didn't seem like that. But that might be her part of her definition. She might not know any better, right? We only parent the way that our parents parented us. Because that's all we know. Until we run into somebody and we say, dog, I really like the way that they raised their kids. Like, their kids came out really great. They're independent, they're self sufficient, they're good citizens. Like, let me get some insight into what they did. But see, sometimes those people are part of your top five. And if you don't have a mom in your top five that's doing the damn thing, you never gonna know what that good mom, the idea, or what the good mom looks like. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna need for all of them to review their top five. To review their top five. Because again, if you want to get somewhere in life, you want to be successful, quote unquote. I mean, and again, they might feel like they already there. But see, me, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm the type of person that when I feel like I've made it right. So for I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna let y'all know something about me, and I mentioned it yesterday in my car chat. I have 3 degrees, right? I have 3 degrees, and I still feel like it's more to do. Maybe not in the degrees, going to school, being a professional student, but it's more for me to do, right? So a lot of times at certain times of the year or whatever, I reevaluate and say, okay, let me see who in my top five, to figure out if they're going to inspire me and motivate me and empower me to get to the next goal. Like, I'm always striving to learn more. I'm always striving to do more, right? But if your personality is not like that, then you probably think that you are successful, and that's fine. So then I would stop there with her. Oh, you already feel like you're successful? Okay, perfect. So what does it mean to you? Like, what does that look like? That looks like having a YouTube channel? Does it look like having a certain amount of subscribers for your channel? Like, what is your next goal in life? Those would be some of my questions for her. Um, so yeah. So in your top five, you want to have somebody that is on a higher level than you are, if y'all understand what I'm saying. And not like, I'm not saying someone that's like not an arrogant person or anything like that, but somebody that's where you're trying to get to, right? Because that person could be a mentor for you. That person could be somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. That person could be a resource. You see what I'm saying? That person could become a great friend. You just never know, right? So my thing to Olivia is, since now you have a new beginning, it's time to work. It's time to work, right? It's time to show your kids, right? Now you've already done a part of that, because y'all got to give us some credit for real. For you to move from, and I'm not going to take into account anything again that I haven't seen, right? Just the simple fact that you moved from Florida to Texas, right? And now you didn't go through it without no complaining, because she was complaining it in that one video. She said, I spent all this money and this, right? I mean, girl, that's what moms do. So you made the move, right? It may have taken you a long time to do it, but you did it, right? So even though nobody else may give you credit for it, you're gonna have to give yourself credit. You know what I'm saying? You can't look for validation from other people. You're gonna have to give yourself some credit. And if you don't like, again, my thing is, if you don't like what the people are saying, then don't show some things or don't share some things, so that way you ain't got to worry about it. But you at the bottom line is that you're going to have to only give yourself credit for what you're doing, right? So you made the move, cool. You got you a place, cool. You didn't see your kid, that was the goal, right? You saw your kids for the first time, cool. Now your kids, it has been established that you are there to stay until, is it until you get them back permanently? Or are they going to permanently stay with the dad? That's what I was wondering. Cause if so, that's fine too. If so, that's fine too, right? But now you have your kids, the anxiety that they had, because even though they're in a, it appears that they're in a great environment and things like that, right? They want their mom. You see what I'm saying? So you have uh eased a little bit of their anxiety as well, of wondering when my mama gonna come back, when am I gonna see my mom, when am I gonna be able to stay with my mom, and things of that nature. Right. So those goals, have partially been completed. Okay, so what is the next step? Now, I also feel like I also feel like you know a lot of the focus is on those three kids that are with their dad, but what about the baby, right? The baby has to have some form of, development as well. So this could be twofold. So if she doesn't have a support system in Texas, what I would recommend Olivia does is look up her local mommy and me. Look up the local mommy and me. Sometimes they have them at the little gymnastic schools for the kids. Sometimes they might have them at a park where a few moms meet up and stuff like that, right? And she could go to a few of those mommy and me meetups, and she can meet some other moms, right? She can meet some other moms. Her baby can have a chance to play with other babies. You know what I'm saying? And she can start to make some friends, right? Now, when you start making friends, and this will be the fourth, this gonna be the fourth session, because we can't get into all that in this session. But in the fourth session, right, we got to talk about friendships and how to recognize if someone is a friend and not a foe, right? Because now, Olivia, if you go to the mommy and me's and you start picking friends that end up being foes, then we got a problem. It's a flaw in how you picking friends. You don't know how to pick friends. You can't recognize when someone is not a good friend. Because, baby, I tell you, me, I could spot them a mile away. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Especially when they get to talking, you already know, nope, something ain't right. So you might talk to them a few times, but they're not going to be a friend where you go to their house, they come to your house. That trust is never going to be there, but they like associates. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I know this person. Sometimes we go to mommy, the meet at the mommy and me's together. So if you have an issue with that, then that's gonna have to be another session, Olivia. Like we can't do all it in one session. Okay. So yeah. So that's what I recommend that she do, find the mommy and me, take the baby, and it'll also get her mind off of everything that's going on, trying to fix up the house, trying to buy this and buy that. Just relax, take the baby, let the baby play, go to the park, you know what I'm saying? And just get the vibe of the moms in the area, get the vibes of the moms in the area. And that's one way that you could possibly start to make friends, and friends start to become your support group sometimes when you don't have a lot of family, and things like that. Because it's good. I'm glad that she has her mom there, because you need your mom when things like this happen. You definitely need your mom, you know what I'm saying? It's good that you got your mom in your corner, but sometimes I feel like some things we go through is not our mom's business. Anybody else feel like that? Like, I just feel like it got to be a boundary. It got to be a boundary with some things, Or it's kind of like, if I'm going through something and my mom is always in my corner, it's almost like, can I really do anything by myself? You know what I'm saying? Like, can I really go through challenges or figure out challenges on my own? You know, I mean, I feel like if it was me in the situation, like, you have to put yourself in somebody's shoes, then I would want my mom not too. Like, I wouldn't have a choice. My mom would be like, okay, I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying? Or what you need me to do. But she would like be support from afar, kind of. Like, I would let her know when I need her to step in, or, something like that. And maybe that's what the situation is with her mom. I don't know. But so yeah. Now, okay, so that ends Olivia's session for today. But I wanted to bring up one more thing that's not, that wouldn't be in the session, that wouldn't be in the session records. Now, Olivia, now I know the last time you were on the couch, we talked about the relationship that you're going to have to build with your kid's dad's fiance, baby, because it looked like he didn't propose to the lady. And didn't I say that in the last? I said I was thinking about that in that last live I did about Olivia. I said, baby, he got to be a hell of a man for this lady to take care of 3 kids and being a wife and not married, doing wifely duties and not married. But baby, he popped the question. So, so now we have got to figure out how what this relationship is going to look like between 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 Olivia and his fiance. Now they are. I don't think they're married yet. I don't know. Maybe they are. Who knows? Because baby, they could have went to Vegas. They could have went down to the courthouse the next day. Nobody knows but them. But we do know that she's probably going to be in Olivia's kids' lives, right? Now, I don't know if y'all saw, I don't know if it was the most recent episode, but there was an episode of Red Table Talk. And this lady was on there. They had this white lady on there talking about I think she's a country singer. Forgive me, y'all, I can't remember her name, but she's a country singer, and her husband was an NFL player. He cheated on her 1,000 times, child. She said she don't even know how many times that man cheated on her. But also on the show was y'all know Jada runs, the Red Table Talk along with her mom and Willow, but Willow was not there. So the guest host they had was Cherie, which was Will's ex-wife, right? And so Cherie and Jada, they always talk about how it was difficult for them to come to a mutual understanding, but they came to a mutual understanding because of the kids, right? And Jada even said that she loved Trey. Now Trey is Will's first son by his ex-wife, by Cherie. And um Jada said she loved Trey, right? And she thought to herself, if I love this kid so much, then I have to love his mom. I have to love his mom, right? Now, mind you, Jada and Cherie, they had a lot of difficulties. On this particular episode, Cherie talked about how, she was mad that Jada moved into the house that she had, like, basically, put all the furnishings in, and the house that was the house her and Will moved into, and now Jada was moving in there. And Jada said Cherie would walk around the house. Like, she said one day she walked in the bedroom and she was looking around like, this what you done with the place? Like, this was my house. You know what I'm saying? And so she said it was some real difficult times. She even mentioned one time that Trey was acting up with a friend, or, misbehaving or whatever. And Cherie came over. And once she walked through the door, Cherie said Jada was like, we need to talk about his behavior. And Cherie said she looked at her and said, where's his father? Like, you're not talking to me about nothing. That is my son. And mind you, y'all, you would think that Jada was saying he was acting up like at their house or if they took him somewhere. No, child, he was acting up with his mama on the mama time. And Jada said, we need to talk about his behavior. Girl, who are you? Like, that's the type of attitude Cherie had towards her. Like, you ain't getting ready to tell me nothing about my son. His behavior, no, where's his daddy? Like, girl, you better get up on my face. And so they had some difficult times, but their relationship, and it of course it took a while to get there, but they to the point where they find Jada is okay with Will going on vacations with Cherie without her. Now, to me, that's a little bit too much. But she's like, of course, not romantically or anything. It's if one of the kids are going on tour and they're going and she can't go, stuff like that. But again, to me, that's a bit much. But I mean, you can't control what nobody does. But anywho, I'm saying all this to say that Olivia, you're gonna have to get to a point, and it may not be right now, it might be years from now. You know what I'm saying? But y'all gonna have to come to an understanding because of those kids. And that's going to have to be the basis of it and nothing else, especially if there's past hurt still, people haven't gone to counseling to learn effective coping skills, and things like that. You're gonna have to figure out how to co-parent effectively, and you may have to figure out, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, it's only between her and the ex-husband. Yeah, that's true, but I mean, you want to make it as easy as you can for your kids, and you're going to have at some point, you're going to have some communication with that lady. You're going to have some communication with that lady. You know what I'm saying? And like I said in the last live, I will make sure that I'm not going to fake it with her or whatever, but I'm going to make sure that it's to a point where I know my kids are, safe. I know she don't, whatever happened between us is whatever, but I just want to make sure that my kids are being treated properly. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. So, Olivia, homework. I always give my clients homework, right? And she's not my client, y'all. This is just for entertainment. But if she was, right, Olivia, I'm gonna need you to go watch, and frankly, the fiance too. I'm gonna need y'all to go watch the Red Table Talk episode with Cherie when Cherie was the guest host. Yeah. I'm gonna need y'all to go watch that because I can see how it would inspire you all to get to a better place. Um and you will see that what you all are going through is normal and it happens, right? But it will give you some hope, right? And empower you to see that it can get better, right? It can get better. Um and all of that. So yeah, so I'm getting up out of here, y'all. It's getting a little bit late. I hope y'all enjoyed this live, right? Again, this is for entertainment only. And thank you all for listening. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for those who have subscribed thus far. Appreciate you for coming back and watching the videos. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting on? This channel is all about mental health. This is where you can get your questions answered for yourself or someone else. And we like to make sure that mental health is not a taboo topic. We're going to talk about it all. Mental health is, struggling with your mental health is a normal thing, and we want to make sure that people understand it and get the support they need. So again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.